Welcome back to Lens Dynamic Coffee Sessions. So today I don't have a very fine setup or very properly put together table because I have been psyched about India International Coffee Festival. So I briefly put a short around it, but I'll again speak. So this is like an event that happens for coffee enthusiasts, growers, coffee sellers, coffee growers, roasters, producers, whatever you call them, basically people who produce who kind of work in the coffee industry. So it can be anyone from big players like Nescafe to someone like a estate owner from Coorg or Chikmagalur, to a coffee shop in Bangalore, to someone also like a home brewer. So home brewer is this new breed that has emerged. So I don't know what's really included in that. But from the little study I did, I understood that people who have a very elaborate setup in their homes, and they are like coffee enthusiasts, they might be working as baristas in some place also, but they do home brewing in their nice and easy setup. Pretty much what I do, but this is like home brewing for uh, like a cheap version of it. So yeah, so today I was like so much involved in like reading about it, I didn't really have my coffee earlier. So it's like 10:30 at night, but it's a Friday, so that's okay. So I brewed 2 cups. I saw probably like hundreds of videos and stories of this coffee festival, and properly spent the whole Friday in the FOMO of it. And I, on retrospect, it might have been a better idea to attend it on a Friday, because Saturday is going to be crazy. But yeah, that's how it works, my brain. So I've seen so many people make those videos like these brewing things at the brew bar, that I was like, I also want to do that. So I brewed 2 cups, and there is some techniques, and I was listening to some coffee podcasts, so I'll share my views on that. But very quickly I'll just compare Starbucks Margali, blonde roast Margali estate, with Amrita Varshini from Blue Tokai. So very nice coffee. I think as you keep it a little longer, you get like more depth of flavors from it. So I'm getting like nice spice undertones like pepper, and also that kind of a dark caramelly texture of dates. So this is Margali. Let me try Amrita Varshini now. This is an instant differentiator because the palette is completely different. It's very bright, and like there is almost a world of difference between these two. Compared to Blue Tokai, Magli almost feels like a dark roast. I know blonde roast, I've spoken about it before, that it does take you through that dark kind of spectrum, but the brightness is almost going towards sourness on this. So the acidity is feeling like very high, so it almost feels like a semi light roast. But the drinkability is very good in this one. I'm really enjoying Amrita Varshini coffee. So yeah, this is about my coffee tasting, and then just some random thoughts which I kind of noted down. I was listening to this podcast, not knowledge or not so podcast or something, but I was searching for podcasts on Indian coffee culture, and also something about Indian growers and how this coffee shop business, especially for specialty coffee. Saw this talk with a person called Manish Adlakha. He has a company called Black Pole Coffee. So they are coffee B2B, and recently they have done started B2C also. And he appeared very knowledgeable to me. Also, he didn't have that coffee nerd or that coffee snob type of character that one often sees. So Mr. Manish from Blackpole Coffee spoke about like an hour, and there is a lot of interesting things he covered. He starts from the basics like varieties of coffee: Arabica, Robusta, Liberica, and I think Excelsa, We don't normally hear that last two varieties because they are so rare. Um, but he spoke about the whole coffee process and like how coffee is a fruit and how like it was started. The whole espresso culture was taken from Italy, where water is heated at a very high temperature, pushed at high pressure, uh, to extract the flavor from coffee, like different coffee techniques: espresso, percolation, pour over, mixing it with milk, having coffee as black, and then roasting of coffee, like processing of coffee, fermentations processes, anaerobic fermentation, also like introduction of microbes in the fermentation process, yeast fermentation. But then he moved to the coffee shop thing, and he answered many things around like how coffee shops sometimes are exorbitantly priced. You can go and see the like talk, but I found it very nice. And it's always good to learn things in the world of coffee and from different people. And what interests me about this whole coffee community is that the kind of passion that you see here. Like, even if someone works as a barista at a coffee shop, at a specialty coffee shop, I know a few people like that. They would work like for 12 to 14 hours, and they would be a home uh, brewer in their personal space, and they do like coffee videos, and they're so passionate about it. I think maybe it's the age. It's also this whole passion about coffee. And I think India, we have a very good scene currently of coffee growing. I know some international coffee resellers still don't put India as like their top 5 or top 10 coffees, because whenever I check out these coffees retailers in Australia or anywhere like US, I always look like, are they selling Indian coffee? And normally we don't feature. I think it does not count as fancy as like Colombia or Guatemala or Costa Rica, Kenya. So that's the thing. So I don't know. I might be wrong here. Another thing Manish talked about was acidity versus brightness, which I found really interesting because I used or misuse the word acidity very normally. But what he was saying is that whole scale is acidity, brightness, sweet, and bitter. So acidity can be also considered as bad brightness, or sour to the point of tasting foul or tasting bad. Yeah, it was an interesting kind of take. And as I was tasting these two coffees, this one tastes very bright, almost going towards that sour thing, and this one tastes on the middle spectrum. So interestingly, in this IICF, they also have a few coffee sellers give free coffee if you spot like the dark light and medium roast correctly. So I'm hoping I win something there. And I'll not keep this video very long, but I will do, I think, few more around this ISCF edition. It was totally unplanned, and I think I like these kind of surprises. So the SCAI lounge that I was talking about, it's the Specialty Coffee Association of India. And there's a lot of brands I'm actually looking forward to. And I'm not that big on latte art as such. I think of it like, okay, this is cool. It's like everyone shows up at a wedding, and then some people are dressed up better. So I don't consider it as a ninja level skill or something. So there's a lot of coffee brands that I'm looking forward to. I'll just read them out: Black Poetry Coffee, Ground Zero Coffee Roasters, Riverdale Estate, Badra Coffee, Kere Haklu. There's this guy called Pranoy Thipaiya. He's supposed to be like this more, like big influence in the coffee circles. And I saw his videos also. He was talking about in Kere Haklu Estate how, like, what are the struggles they face. They like, how did they try to not use like the commercial microbes in the fermentation process. So they make these kind of pickled waters, and like most naturally possible. So do check out his stuff. Then there is Benki Coffee uh, roasters in Jayanagar, which I haven't visited, but there is a person called Suhas who's participating in the barista championship. There is Ananya with Some Things Brewing. So she has a account called Bean to Brew. Then there is Umami Brew. Axel Coffee Roasters. I talked about it. So in this podcast, I also heard about like how Melbourne is like considered the most popular place for coffee roasting. That's how they kind of showcase that, and they also have this World Barista champion kind of thing sticker that is now coming on all their coffees, and their coffees are generally like in the higher range. So I'll see if they're giving smaller packs. So this is Axel Coffee Roasters. Then there's a lot of people that I checked out. Your Coffee Daddy, Mayank Batra. Then Zach Haza is from Atypical Coffee. I think something to do with Riverdale also. So they have some coffee called Gesha, which is supposedly quite popular. So yeah, a lot of things planned for this coffee festival, and very excited. I'll get some sleep and show up there early. So I'll enjoy my coffee with vanilla shoe bun from Konsu again, and let me try this again. So it's more complex in terms of the hidden uh, acidity. Now I'm like conscious to, should I say acidity or sourness or brightness? I would say it's a quite a decent coffee you're getting. If you look for complexity in your coffee, then Margli would be good for you. If you're looking for a very bright, typical Chikmagalur uh, Indian coffee, then Amrita Varshini should be fine. With each sip, the sourness is just like going, it's multiplying. Nevertheless, see you at or after IICF. Enjoy your coffee.